Hey everybody, and welcome back to Midtown, USA. It is day 15 of late autumn, and I have to say this is going to be the final installment of our Midtown adventure. We have come to the conclusion of autumn in year 2, and that's pretty much where I had set out to get to when we started this map way back last year. And to that end, well, we're just going to care for our animals today, and we've got a couple our grass fields we need to fertilize. We're going to go ahead and close up some of these gates that we've kind of been lazy and left open during the series, simply for availability and accessibility. We do have 2 hired helpers out working the fields. We've got our big bud out there planting oilseed radish, basically in the cornfields. We did complete our harvest yesterday. It took about mid-afternoon yesterday to get all of the corn in, but all of that corn is now in the silos. In fact, we've got our harvester and our truck up here ready to be cleaned up and put away for the season. See, we've got a fair bit of stuff up here to clean up and get put away. We're going to go ahead and do that here shortly once we finish off watering our cows, because we've got the mud going on. Go ahead and wait until we do that, and then we're going to wash up the water trailer here and everything. I do have the weather forecast up because I wanted to show you all the winter. If you remember last winter, we had a fairly mild winter. We didn't have a single day of frozen ground, which actually allowed us to, while I didn't even think about this until toward the end of winter, it allowed us to basically go in and we bought a couple fields, we plowed some fields, and we did some field work over winter. We obviously weren't able to plant anything, but we were able to do a fair bit of field work that we really did not anticipate having the opportunity to do. Well, if we look at our temperatures for the first 7 days, basically the first half of winter, you can see that on Wednesday, day 3, looks like we're going to have a low of 27 and a high of 31. So there's the potential, doubt it, but there's the potential for frozen ground there. But then the next day we warm up to 43, 39. So we only have one potential day in the first half of winter where we could maybe have frozen ground. We don't know, obviously, what the second half of winter could bring to us, but all the indications are that we're going to have another fairly mild winter if we were to play this map through a second winter season. Let's check out our animals. So we've topped off our pigs already, but we need to give hay to our sheep. We need to give straw, grass, and power food to our cow. So spun around here. So let me when we're done here, I'm going to show you our silo. Show you what kind of how we brought in our crops. And I've been thinking about reminiscing a little bit, if you will, about the series, and thinking about how we've been harvesting for about 29 game days. It seems like we've been harvesting since the first day of early summer, and well, we didn't finish until almost the last day of late autumn. But we have gotten a massive amount accomplished. We've brought in a huge amount of grain and crop. Let's go ahead and look at the prices section. So look at that. We've got 528,000 liters of our wheat, 375,000 liters of barley, 339,000 liters of canola. We only have 30,000 liters of sunflowers because we sold most of them off. But we had like 150,000 or 120,000 liters of 662,000 liters of soybeans, and 340,000 liters of corn. Got easily $1 million or more just in grain sitting in our silos. Probably have maybe closer to $1.5 million, if not close to $2 million in our silos. It's hard to say what we've got going on there, but we are basically trudging along. And the way we're going to close this series out is we're just gonna stop. We're gonna leave all our animals here, all the crop in the silos, because we don't have a good price to sell anything at. So we might as well just leave them in the silos. Got plenty of hay in the barn here, as you'll see when we come around to feeding our sheep and our cows. Let's go ahead and clean up some of this stuff. So we can kind of put it away. This is our trusty grain truck that has been more than useful since we purchased it. You remember we originally had two semis. We had the International here, and we had the Kenworth, but we got rid of the International semi and picked up this truck, and it was a very... What am I doing? Let's go ahead and clean this off. It was a very good acquisition. We put probably close to 19 hours on that truck over summer and autumn this year. Very reliable, very good to, very handy to have because it had a fairly decent turning radius. The one day that we did do two harvesters and I had the semi running, that thing was always getting in the way, always having problems because the turning radius was not very small, which really introduced its own problems. But put our water trailer away, come back and put our grain truck away. So I am very glad that we picked that truck up. That is for sure. Now, the astute of you is going to notice that we have a different TMR mixer, power food mixer. That is because we just, well, we got rid of the White Knight mixer, and we picked up this Kuhn mixer for two reasons. One, the Kuhn mixer has a larger capacity to it, and two, in all honesty, the Knight mixer had some issues going on with it. I probably showed those issues to you in a previous video with respect to basically how it would slide during a empty, and it had to be fixed initially because it basically had unlimited power food. Filled it once and you'd never have to fill it again. But when the Kuhn power food mixers pack came out in the Mod Hub, it was like, oh, I could use that instead, and they work great. I believe that model is the middle capacity. It holds like 30 some thousand liters. Very handy to use. 16.4 hours. Let's go ahead and see if we can't do maintenance on this. There. Might as well do a little maintenance on it while we are putting it away for the season. Our door up. Won't need that truck again unless we do some selling to a particularly tight sell point that we can't get into. Go ahead and clear this out. So, when we meet again, we will be over on Rathlin Island. I am so looking forward to that map. When it came out, like, I don't know, 3 months ago at this point, I was like, oh man, that's going to be easily the next map that I do. And then I realized, oh wait, I got a lot of work to do left on Midtown. I want to finish out Churn Farms. What am I going to do? Well, I think it's going to work out pretty good, and I'm really glad some of the ideas that I've got. So I hope you all like that. I hope you tune in for that series. It should start, well, if everything goes well, which I'm hoping it will, I should be able to start recording those videos right after I get done this one. And that basically and I'm still recording a little bit ahead of schedule. So I should be able to have those videos ready to air almost, you know, immediately following this video as far as the normal time slots go. So it wouldn't surprise me if I wasn't able to basically I think this video will air on April 2nd, which I think is a Monday. And if that is indeed the fact, then it would not shock me at all to basically say that I better get this out of the way. To basically say that on April 4th, which would be a Wednesday, that our first Rathlin Island would come out. In fact, I recorded the first episode of Rathlin right after I finished Churn Farms. I've been done Churn Farms for quite a long time, so I'm really excited to get back. Oh my goodness. I thought I disconnected from that, but I connected back to the rake. That baler was parked perfectly last time I was in the map. I don't know what the deal is with him. Let's get our rig backed in here. Some of these smaller implements are really challenging sometimes to back up. I think because they got a fairly short distance between the tongue, or fairly short distance between the connector, the hitch, and the wheels. Are you all playing Midtown? I'm curious. I always like to know if you all are playing the same map that I'm playing, and if you are, let me know how your gameplay is going. Are you using seasons? Are you not using seasons? You are using seasons. What's your season duration? Are you doing animals? Or are you just doing arable stuff? You know, curious, and I'd like to know just how your play is going through. Park this right here, up against the right up the side of the building here. All right, let's see here. Oh, we need to let's mix up some power food. Show you guys that. I like this new mixer. Holds a large amount of mix. You can usually get by with just 2 loads versus the other mixer, the old mixer, the one that's in game. Oh my gosh, that was like 4 loads of power food every 4 days, every 3 days. It's easily a half day's job just to mix up power food. But this mixer makes it so much faster. We got 41% and we're at 14,000 liters. So Already, that's almost the full capacity of the in-game mixer. This is the Kuhn 3580. What I've been doing is I've been mixing up about 18,500 liters of silage. Then I've been adding 3 bales of hay. That's 12,000 liters of hay. And 1 bale of straw. 4,000 liters of straw. And that basically fills this thing up fairly well. It's going to take a little while. Fill this thing up. Let's check our animals once again. Plow is almost done. Up here on field 3, we got oilseed radish in fields 1 and 2. We still need to put oilseed radish in fields 4 and 3. Again, we have barley in 17, 13, and 7. Those were the 3 late soybean fields. We've got canola in 8, 12, and 14. Those were, oh, what was they? They were soybeans. They were corn. Remember what they were. We got barley in, talked about barley. We got wheat in 11, 16, and 15, and barley's in field 9. Field 9 is the only field that needs plowed at this point. That was the one that we picked up late in the game. So, stop that. 18,900, that's close enough. What we need the purpose for. You can see we are over $1 million now. The other day we went and had an opportunity yesterday to sell some compost. So that's what got us over the $1 million mark. Got plenty of time on this one for maintenance. See the extra hay bales that we've got in here now from field 10. Put all the hay off of field 18 and 19 into the barn down at the BGA. And while we were down at the BGA, I noticed that the digestate tank is full. It has a full 800,000 liters of digestate. So we're going to need to, if we were to continue this map, we would definitely go, and we'll just go ahead and use this to do the 1 bale of straw. Definitely would be using the digestate to fertilize some of the fields in closer proximity to the BGA. We used digestate to fertilize some of the fields down by where we put corn in, and I have to say that just took way too long. We couldn't keep the slurry spreader or the slurry applicator full. We took us basically as long as the to run up and fill up the tank and bring it back as it did to empty. So that was not really a good use of time. But we could definitely use the slurry tank much closer. Feels a lot closer. But let's put this load in. I think we'll probably have to mix up one more load. Maybe not. Maybe this one will take all of it. You're good enough. Go ahead and put this up. Then we only need to deal with straw and grass. And then we need to get to our sheep. There we go. This trailer is a little weird to back up because of this. The back has a steering axles. Make it a little unpredictable in how it turns. Just unpredictable for me. Not what I wanted to do. Well, while we're up here, might as well get the telehandler and I'm gonna get 4 bales of straw. We're gonna need to bring some straw over from one of our storage barns here soon. Oh no! Oh well. Let the guy who's coming into the farm after us take care of those bales. Knocked them over. Our 8700 is done plowing. After we unload our straw here, I'm going to go ahead and take care of that message. And we might as well get in our skid steer and just take a bale of hay over to the sheep. We'll also need to get grain here for our chickens while I'm thinking about it. If we don't do that, our chickens will stop laying their eggs, and well, we make a fortune off of those eggs. Hate to lose that revenue stream. Go. This has been a nice little bobcat. I haven't used it enough. Saw we had a great demand for wool. Too bad we don't have any wool. That a long time ago. Are on. Turn the lights off. Oh. Up the gate. And let's see here. Tractor. Guess we could use this tractor to pull the gravity wagon for the chickens. I said I thought we would get to fertilizing a little bit, but I don't know if we're going to get around to that now. Now that we've got to feed the chickens, we've got a whole new set of work to do, just to every 3 days. They definitely pay for themselves. I don't know how many eggs we sold, but I sold $4,000 worth of eggs yesterday. It was a couple days had passed before we had had an opportunity to take more eggs. And barley. Been using barley for our chickens. So are you all using the chicken pack? If you are, let me know how you're doing it. How many chickens are you all doing? Should be enough. I think it adds a lot more to the game. It makes chickens actually useful. Everybody knows watching my videos, it's not too keen on collecting the eggs on any regular basis. I really don't like collecting eggs from chickens where I got to run around and find them in grass. It just really annoys me to the point of where I don't really feel like doing it. It's because I have a hard time seeing the eggs in the grass. And maybe everybody has a hard time seeing it. I don't know. Just know I have especially difficult time seeing it. The only time that it's fairly easy to tolerances on these triggers are really narrow. Are so I think just to wrap up a little bit about 15-day seasons versus 24-day seasons. Went off of a very long gameplay on 24-day seasons, and we came over here to 15 days. And part of the experiment was kind of to see how does 15 days, which is not really half, because 12 days would be actually a literal half of 24. But how did a long but shorter season length, how did that really affect gameplay with respect to animals and getting work done, especially with being able to flip the fields? And I think 15 days has been fairly relaxing. 24 days was really relaxing. Very rarely did I feel super pressured to get things done. Yeah, we had lots to do, and we had a fair amount of... What the heck? Must have hit the mouse button. You know, we had lots to do, and a fair number of fields and everything, but we still managed to deforest, you know, an entire area of the map over winter and over the first summer when we really didn't have a lot going on. So overall, you know, 15 days is not that much. Oops, I didn't hook up to that. 15 days isn't much different in my mind than 24. They're both a pretty good commitment. I'm sitting here on this map with about 182 hours of gameplay for the time that we've played here. I did play from early spring until early spring year 1 until late autumn year 2. I just only recorded the gameplay from late spring the first year. So there were 14 game days that went unrecorded or undocumented as I was setting up the map and up the series. I think we had close to 200 hours on Churn Farms, so we still have a fair number of hours here. That's mostly because on Churn we played 15 times speed, and on this map, for the most part, we played 10 times speed, so we slowed the clock down a little bit. But still, we had almost the same number of game hours on the actual map. And on Rathlin, we're going to do 9-day seasons. I think that's what I had picked. So we're going to run 5x speed 9-day seasons, I think. We'll see how that works out. Kind of shortening the season length and playing with the number of animals. You know, on Churn Farm, we had about 100 of each animal that we started with, or that we purchased when we did purchase them. And we basically, it's fairly easy to care for 100 cows. Very easy to care for 100 sheep. And when seasons updated, extremely easy to care for however many pigs we had. I think we had maybe, what, 70-some pigs? Now, on this map, at 15-day seasons, the cows, we doubled our cows. We went up to 200. And right now, we got 220 cows. You know, it was definitely more of a challenge to feed 200 cows over 15 game day season than 100 cows over 24 days. We had to feed them a lot more power food. Took a lot of straw every 3 days. Sheep were still fairly easy to deal with. They don't really eat a lot. They don't really take a lot to go, you know, to go off of. And pigs were fairly straightforward again. We only had 50 when we picked them up. Got, I think, close to, how many we got now? 70 some? 77 pigs now, and I'm pretty sure we only had 50, maybe 48 pigs to begin with. And on Rathlin, the goal is to have several hundred sheep. So we're going to shorten the season length. We're going to have a huge herd of sheep that we're going to attempt to care for and see how that goes. So we're basically going to be sheep farmers and dealing with hay bales and maybe silage bales. But we're definitely going to do work down at the BGA. I want to try out that BGA extension mod, where it basically makes you have to feed the BGA on a fairly regular basis. See how that goes. I'm not one to want to make the gameplay super difficult. I don't really. We will be running MR over on Rathlin. I wanted to try that out and use some MR prepared mods as well as in-game equipment. But I'm not one to typically layer on mods for making things more difficult. But I do want to add stuff that enhances gameplay, and I think the BGA extension is going to do that for us. I think it's going to enhance our gameplay a fair bit and keep us busy. Like, oh no, not far enough gate yet. I think it's going to keep us busy, you know, as if we don't have enough work to do in trying to keep several hundred sheep and only having 9 game days seasons to do it in. But I want to give it a whirl and see how it goes. It might become a staple on the FS17 maps that I do. Of course, I've got to think about FS19 now. It's still a fair bit away, but I was thinking the other day, and I may have already mentioned this in another video, that that the gameplays that I do, they seem to take, you know, they seem to take a couple months to work their way through the life cycle of the gameplay, and at that rate, you know, a couple months, there's only probably 2 or 3 maps left before I'm going to run out of time between now and when FS17 comes out. So really leaves me wondering, because there's probably 10. I've got 10 maps probably saved back tucked away in my private stash that I would like to play on and give a spin on. But then again, there are well, a couple maps coming out that I want to play with and make use of. And there's just, well, not enough time in the day, not enough days in the year to get done what we want to get done before 0 hour, and that is the arrival of Farm Sim 19. And as we close this out, I'm going to say a fond farewell to Midtown, USA. It was a great blast to play. Thank you, CCS 101, for granting me early access to the map to show it off to everybody, and to be able to present this in such a form that I think everyone hopefully did enjoy, and hopefully there was some eagerness. Well, there was definitely eagerness for the map to come out, and once the map did come out, I hope you all were able to get it and make use of it and play on it, enjoy it the way that I know I have enjoyed it, and the way that I know CCS 101 enjoyed making it. And he's got some other projects, like I said, that I've been following, and I'm really eager to have an opportunity to maybe get to play. So, not enough time to get to all these maps, all these great, wonderful maps that we've got. No, I didn't play 15, so a lot of these maps that are 15 converts, they were first time maps to me. I didn't know them from the 15. I didn't know of Churn Farm from Farm Sim 11 or 13 or 15. It was brand new to me, and brings me a whole new light to think about Farm Sim 19 and think about maps that may be converted and brought forward from 17. Maps that maybe I didn't have an opportunity to play in 17, I'll be able to play in 19. And that gives me a little bit of excitement. Also, so what I want to do at this point is, what do we need? Got everything for our animals. Just going to continue to clean up here. Got to put away some stuff. Got to clean up our semi-trailers and our Kenworth there. And like I said, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Then I will see you guys on Rathlin Island in just a few days. Until next time, guys. Happy farming.